Sarah here from honeylawson.com, and I am here today to tell you how I lost 5.5% of my body fat and gained almost 2 kilograms of muscle in just 3 weeks. Now, if you haven't already watched the first part of this video, then I encourage you to watch it following the link down below, which tells you exactly what Mitch and I did for our first 3 weeks of traveling when we came to Thailand. Now, this video is going to tell you a little bit more detail about the training we did and the food that we ate in order to drop body fat in a short amount of time and show you just how successful this can be. So in terms of what we wanted to achieve in the 3 weeks that we had, there were 3 markers that we were mainly going off of. And the first one was in terms of physical ability. So there was a 4K run up a very steep hill that we were measuring how quickly we could get to the top. And we were going to do that 3 times and try and improve on that time. The second one was by using an in-body body composition analyzer. Now, this uses electrical impulses to measure the composition of your body. Depending on how fast the electrical impulses go through your body tissue, it can decipher what is muscle, what is bone, what is fat, what is water. And if you want me to go into a little bit more detail about that, I am more than happy to tell you about that. It's not necessarily the most accurate way to test your body fat percentage, but it is the best way that we had access to, and we used the same machine at the beginning and at the end of our trips, so it was comparable. And then third and final way was by looking in the mirror, so taking that progress photo. So I'm a big believer in ditching the scales and going by how you feel and how confident and happy you are in the way that you look and in the way that you wear your clothes. So we had the progress photographs as our third marker.
For those in a little bit more detail, the Big Buddha Run is a 4 kilometre, pretty much all uphill slog, which we were timing to see how quickly we could get there. We did it on our second day of training with Tiger Muay Thai. We were pretty happy to reach the top, and I did that in 32 minutes and 28 seconds, which isn't a bad starting point, but I was excited to see how much quicker I could get. Then we had our in-body body composition analysis. Now, I'll show you my full results here. Feel free to freeze the video and take a look. But in detail, I'm looking at my skeletal muscle mass, 29.3 kilograms. Body fat mass was 14.9 kilograms, giving me a body fat percentage of 22.2%. This meant my basal metabolic rate was 1,503 calories, meaning at rest, that's how much my body burns. Now, just to point out the visceral fat level here, between 1 and 9, you want the lower the better. Mine's a 5, not so bad to start with. And here is my day 1 progress photo, which speaks for itself.
As a quick summary, before I go into the details, there are a few things that we didn't do and a few things that we did do. So in terms of what we didn't do, we didn't count calories. We were eating out at every meal. Every meal was cooked for us. There was no way of knowing exactly what was in our meals. So a little bit further on in the video, I've made some estimations in terms of calories. They are approximate calories, and it would have just driven us crazy trying to be accurate about this. What we decided to do instead was a more intuitive approach to eating. So when we were hungry, we ate, and when we were full, we stopped. We tried to do that. Another thing we didn't do was follow a kind of training routine. So we didn't have push days and pull days. We didn't have split routines in terms of upper body and lower body. We chose classes that we liked the look of, that sounded like we would enjoy them, and we did whatever the instructor told us to do. We also didn't weigh ourselves daily. So I've already told you the 3 ways in which we were going to track and monitor our progress, and we were not a slave to the scales. I am a big believer that the scales can be really misrepresentative of our progress, and I'll show you actually that in practice a little bit further down in the video, but we did not weigh ourselves daily. And we didn't train all hours of the day, every day. If you're watching this thinking, okay, you went to Thailand and you were in this great fitness destination, of course you were gonna see results in 3 weeks because you were training all day, every day. That was not the case. We went on average to 2 classes a day, which were between 30 minutes to an hour of hard exercise. And yes, we worked all out in those times, but we weren't just continuously working out, and we took rest days, and we listened to our bodies, and we pushed when we could, and we pulled back when we needed to. In terms of what we did do, we did try and make smart food choices. So we wanted to eat vegetables, we wanted to eat good quality protein, good quality fats. So that meant limiting our refined sugar and limiting those high refined white carbohydrates. We also gave every workout that we did 110%. So we went to each class knowing that we were willing to work really hard. We pushed ourselves, we let the instructors push us, and we worked really, really hard. Most of the time we trained fasted, so we would maybe have a coffee or water in the morning before our first morning class. Now this was out of convenience mostly, because we didn't want to eat breakfast, or we didn't want to have to get up extra early in order to eat a breakfast that would have been digested before our first class. So mostly we trained on an empty stomach in the mornings, and then we would push our first meal back to a little bit later in the day. And in the food examples that I'm going to show you, you'll see how we managed this. In terms of what we were drinking, there was no alcohol involved in the 3 weeks, and we drank lots and lots of water. Obviously we were sweating a lot, and we were already in a hot climate, so drinking loads and loads of water. And then the only other drink really that I drank was coffee, black, no sugar. So it's really easy to mistake hunger for thirst for hunger. So by drinking lots of water, we were able to control our appetites a lot better as well. So we were getting really great quality sleep. I haven't slept this well in ages. So really, really important in terms of recovery and in terms of being prepared for your next day when you're training hard, is getting those 8 hours of quality sleep a night. And we definitely did that.
So here is a look at our training in detail. In week 1, we were at Tiger Muay Thai, where we wanted to develop our Muay Thai skills, as well as doing some gym workouts, some hardcore beach workouts, and also a little bit of bodyweight exercises. So great to be there, really enjoyable. And at the end of the first week, of course, we did the Big Buddha run again. Actually, we did this about midway through the second week, and I'd improved by 1 minute and 11 seconds. And we took the progress photos just to see where we were at. In the second and third week, we wanted to take our training up a notch, so we went to Unit 27. By the beginning of week 3, we wanted to really push ourselves to our limits. We were lifting heavier, we were doing 2 workouts a day, and we were really giving it our all in order to see exactly what we could achieve at the end of our final week. I wore my Apple Watch throughout just to get an idea of how many calories I was burning per session, and you can see them that they vary between 300 and 600 here. So what I could do then was add those calories on to my basal metabolic rate and know that I was burning in the region of 2,500 calories a day. Now on to what we ate in a little bit more detail. So I mentioned before, started most mornings with a coffee and exercise on an empty stomach. For an example of our day when we were intermittently fasting, we would generally push breakfast back to after our first workout, which would consist of something like eggs or porridge, and then we would have a meal a little bit later, so lunch around mid-afternoon, followed by training again, maybe a snack, and then maybe something else in the evening. So our eating window was about 8 hours. That was the amount of the times we were eating from the first meal to the last meal, 8 hours. And calories, a really approximate guess here of around 1,370. But that could really vary. Like I said, we weren't cooking the meals, so it's hard to guess. We wouldn't eat like this every day. Some days we would want breakfast early in the morning if our session was pushed back a little bit later. So a light breakfast, probably without carbohydrates, just because I don't digest them well before working out. So that's a personal choice. Then lunch would be around the normal time, perhaps an afternoon snack, and then an evening meal, again, not too late. Slightly larger eating window of 10 hours, but still eating around that 1,300 calorie mark. So definitely in a calorie deficit if you go by my basal metabolic rate plus the amount of calories that we're burning in the workout. Here's another example of when we would push breakfast back to around midday. Yes, this looks like a lunch. Well, it is lunch, but breakfast just means breaking the fast, and that's exactly what we were doing, but we pushed it back a little bit later. Just remember that we were drinking a lot of water in between meals, before workouts, during and after workouts. So generally 3 meals a day, sometimes 2 big meals, but not every day we would eat exactly the same, and we were having snacks. So there would be fruit, often we would just snack on almonds before a workout. If we were hungry, we ate. And it wasn't all clean, green. Yes, we had pizza occasionally. We had the occasional healthy snack. These were oats and cacao. And yes, I did have pancakes as well. So at the end of the 3 weeks, our results were in. We did a final big bit of run, and I managed to get in under 30 minutes. It was a 2-minute and 33-second improvement from the first run. And here are our final in-body analysis results. Here you can see a direct comparison. So in total, my skeletal muscle mass went up by 1.8 kilograms and my body fat mass dropped by 3.7 kilograms. I lost 600 grams on each leg and 1.9 kilograms from my trunk, and my basal metabolic rate went up, thank you muscle mass, to 1,575 calories. Despite my body weight only changing by 400 grams, I had lost 5.5% of body fat, going from 22.2 to 16.7%. And here we have my final progress picture, where you can see that I added some definition. You can see a little bit more muscle mass, particularly in the trunk and in the upper body, so I was really happy with that. And for those of you watching who may be wondering if the same can happen for men, here's Mitch's before and afters, where he gained 1 kilogram of muscle mass, he dropped 2.8 kilograms of fat, and his body fat percentage went from 16.4% down to 13.5%.
So there it is in quick summary, exactly what we've been doing over the last 3 weeks. And it just goes to show that with some hard work and with some simple eating switches, that you can see a really, really big difference in 3 weeks. Now, that's not to say that I am suggesting that we all just do 3-week quick fix, get fit, because I know that if I had been here for another 3 weeks, then I wouldn't have lost another 5% body fat and continued to go that way. But by measuring this first short section, it's a really, really great way to just make sure that what you're doing is working and to fill yourself with some confidence that you're doing the right things to make the changes that you want to see. So hopefully it's been really, really useful, and I'll just quickly go over my 3 key takeaways. So number 1, Mitch and I have had a really incredible time here, and if you get the opportunity and you want to do something different with your 2 weeks leave that you get every year, then I would highly recommend coming to Phuket, because it's such a great experience. You get to try some really incredible classes, you get to meet some awesome people from all over the place, and you still get to enjoy the culture and the beaches of being in a really, really beautiful place. Number 2 is that you don't have to meticulously track calories in and calories out in order to see changes. If you are counting your macros and following certain ratios, I know that that can have a huge benefit, and it really, really can help in terms of achieving your goals, but it's not the only way. If you learn to be more intuitive about your approach and kind of figure out that natural energy balance, then that can also be really, really effective in achieving your whatever your goals may be. And I highly believe that we should want to be fit for a purpose, fit for our own personal goals. And for Mitch and I, you know, we're going to Nepal soon, and we're going to be going to Everest Base Camp and summiting Island Peak. And so it's really, really important for us that we are at the peak of our physical fitness so we can do these really exciting adventures. And for you, your goal might be something else, but every step that you can make to get you closer to that goal is another part of your motivation for doing what you're doing. Number 3 is that I absolutely can see the value in having a structured, personalized training plan. This is what I do for a living, so of course I understand the value in that, but it's not accessible for everyone. And if all you've got access to is group fitness classes, then you can still see some really, really great results. We went to, yes, incredibly well-resourced and well-equipped gyms with some great instructors, but they weren't personalized to us. We weren't following a structured routine. We went to the classes that we liked the look of, and we still saw some really great strength gains and also some cardio improvements. So you can do this by going to group classes that are of a really high quality. And another thing is just not to get stuck by the scales. So having watched this, you'll see that I lost a grand total of 400 grams. And if I had been going on the scales, I could have got really demotivated by that and gone, oh, do you know what? Screw it, I'm done with this, it's not working. But because of the measurements that we did use and going by how I was feeling and photos and also that Big Buddha run, it meant that I could get my motivation from these factors and be really inspired to keep doing what I was doing because I could feel that it was working. I was just starting to feel really good in myself. So like I said, hopefully you found this video useful. Hopefully it's inspired you to be fit for a purpose and continue to watch my videos and ask any questions. If you have any, I'd be more than happy to help. And I look forward to seeing you again soon. Bye.